Namaste viewers, welcome to the Conceptual Knowledge. First of all, wish you all a very happy Republic Day. Today we are discussing some facts of December part 2. So the first fact for the day is US to block import of slave labor cotton from China. The context is US Customs and Border Protection Agency said that its withhold release order would ban cotton and cotton products from Xinjiang production and construction crops. Trump is expanded the economic pressure on China. As we all know, from the last year, there are some tensions are going on between two countries, United States and China. It's a quasi-military organization that it says used forced labor of detained Uyghur Muslims. See, Uyghur Muslims. They are mostly Muslims. Minorities are being held in internment camps. Okay. After all this, making it more difficult to the newly elected president Joe Biden to ease US China tensions. Okay. Next we have is not using mask flouts fundamental right. Supreme Court recently observed that people do not wearing mask in public and follow physical distancing norms violate the fundamental rights of others amid the COVID-19 pandemic. See, originally we do not recognize the right to health, but we have Article 21 that says right to life and health. Right? Health. Supreme Court decided to stay the interim order passed by Gujarat High Court, which directed those not wearing masks in public place to do social service at COVID care centers. Next we have is lottery, gambling and betting taxable under GST Act. This is also from the Supreme Court. The court held the lottery, betting, gambling for actionable claims and came within the definition of goods under the section of 2 of clause 52 of the Central Goods and Services Tax 2017. Okay, but some are argues made by the skill lotto solutions and the lottery agents. They said lottery was not a good and GST is levying on them is a illegal. Next we have is culture of peace session. It's in organized by the UN General Assembly, UNGA. GA. The UN has organized such sessions each year since 1997. Okay, the Declaration and Program of Action on the Culture of Peace was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly on September 13, 1999. This occurred after 10 months of negotiations in the context of preparedness of International Year for the Culture of Peace. After the latest session, India asked this question is asked by the India to the United Nations to expand its criticism of hatred and violence against religions beyond the three Abrahamic religions Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Next is Arecibo telescope. See, it's a massive Arecibo telescope, we can say, famous for its stellar contributions to the astronomy. Is These are the some key points about it. Built in 1963, now it's the second largest single dish radio telescope in the world. Now the first is China with field aperture radio telescope, FAST. Now China have the world's largest single dish telescope, which is built on year 2017. These are the some observatories that are done by the Arecibo telescope. Next we have Navy Day 2020. Every year India celebrates December 4 as a Navy commemorate Operation Trident, a key offensive during 1971 India-Pakistan War. The Indian Navy inflicted heavy damage on Pakistani vessels on Karachi Harbour. On December 4, under Operation Trident, the Indian Navy sank 3 vessels of Pakistan near the Karachi port. Okay. Next we have Himachal Pradesh wants GI status for 5 products. First of all, what is GI tag or GI status? See, GI stands for geographical indication, a sign which is used on products that have a specific geographical origin and possess qualities on a reputation that are due to that origin. Typically, we are using GI tags on the agriculture, foodstuff, wine, handicrafts, and industrial products. See, now Himachal Pradesh is wanting some more GI tags on these 5 products. Karsog Gold, Thangi of Pengi, Chamba Metal Crafts, Chamba Chunk, and Rajma of Bahmor. Already Himachal Pradesh have 8 GI tags that are listed below. Next we have what is Mahaparinirvana Divas. See, it's celebrated as a death anniversary of Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar, Baba Sahib Ambedkar. He is the father of our Indian Constitution. What is Mahaparinirvana? Parinirvana is a major principle of goals of Buddhism. In Sanskrit term, written in Pali, Parinirvana means nirvana after the death, which refers to the achievement of nirvana after the body dies. As per the Buddhist text, Mahaparinibbana Sutta, it's in a Buddhist text, the death of Lord Buddha at the age of 80 is considered as the original Mahaparinirvana. Now, why is it related with Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar? See, it's related with the Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar due to he passed away on December 6, 1956. During his few last days, after complaining of last work is the Buddha and his Dhamma. That's why it is related with Mahaparinirvana. HL2M tokamak. It's an artificial sun which is made by China itself. Okay. China is making this artificial sun with a nuclear fusion reactor HL2M tokamak reactor. For the first time, marking a great advance in the country's nuclear power research capabilities. Some key points about HL2M tokamak is it's China's largest and most advanced nuclear fusion experiment research device and located in Sichuan province and completed late last year. The reactor is often called an artificial sun on account of enormous heat and power it produces. See, it can heat up to a temperature of over 150 million degrees Celsius, approx 10 times hotter than the core of sun. So the last fact of the day is Tharu tribals. See, originally they are belongs to the Nepal, okay, ethnic group and indigenous to the Terai region of South Nepal and northern India. Uttar Pradesh government has recently embarked upon a scheme of the unique culture of its ethnic Tharu tribe across the world. This scheme involves the natural Tharu habitat in traditional huts made of grass collected mainly from the forested. Who actually the Tharu people? This is defined here. You can see the community belongs to the Terai lowlands amid the Shivaliks or lower Himalayas. Most of them are forest dwellers and some practice agriculture. The word Tharu is believed to be derived from Stavir, meaning followers of Theravada Buddhism. Tharus live in both in India, Nepal. In Indian Terai region, they lived mostly in Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, and Bihar. Tharu women have stronger property rights than is allowed to women in mainstream northern Indian Hindu custom. So that's all for today. Thanks for the attending the class. Have a nice day.